Hello and welcome to another edition of Fours and Sixes. As always, with me is Swaminathan. I have Gomesh with me. The IPL is now about 65% to 70% of the matches are over. Last night we saw first in the IPL, Vaibhav Suryavanshi, 14 years of age, just demolishing the attack, demolishing an attack that at least we think has one of the best sort of team composition in terms of bowling lineups in the IPL in Gujarat.
Yeah, I mean, it was at some level sort of an eye opener of sorts, uh, purely because of the way he just kept going. I
Yeah.
mean, he could have easily gotten out in the first
Yeah,
couple of
and
overs,
obviously
and
you need luck to.
and the bowling probably wasn't great
Yeah,
in terms
yeah,
of the tactics they used, and then of course the fact that you know. But despite all that, despite the fact that he's scoring, it's just the sheer ball striking ability that
yeah,
the
yeah,
teenager has is something that's uh, you know that's broken the cricketing world at some level, and
yeah.
entire global cricketing community is talking about it. And I'm sure there are like so many such youngsters across the country. That's just the way it is in terms
Mhm.
of batting talent in this country. What's probably fitting or uh, is that he probably wouldn't have played if Samson was fit.
Yeah.
And third match he's playing in IPL, scoring a century of 35 balls, right up there with Chris Gayle.
Better than
So
Yusuf Pathan all those years ago. I mean, it's
yeah,
just nuts to even think about it. With our not to Vaibhav, we'll now get to the reason why both of us are here today is just to discuss about, I mean, two things generally: how the IPL has progressed, how most of the teams have done. We will not be talking about CSK today. We did a CSK special the other night. I hope you had the chance to look at that. Today we'll be talking about some of the other teams that are in contention. First, we'll be talking a bit about the likes of Punjab and Lucknow and Delhi. What's worked for some of these franchises?
I think Punjab and Delhi have predominantly come together as a team in terms of bowling attack, in terms of the way their batting lineup has worked. There are holes in both the teams where Punjab, the top four has come through almost every single time, and nobody knows. The moment they fail, they've lost the matches. Delhi too, same issue where the top order hasn't performed and the middle order has been really,
Yeah.
really good. Kudos to KL Rahul who's embraced it, and Tristan Stubbs has been magnificent, and their bowling attack has done really well as well. But if you talk about Lucknow, it's probably a lot more flawed in terms of the way they
It's
campaign
just thanks to
is.
some of the individual
Yeah,
players.
every time someone has stepped up,
Yeah.
and they have a really good team on paper. They have uh, top-notch hitters as well,
Rishabh Pant yet to
except
start
for
going.
the
Yeah.
captain who has had a horrible season so far, and it's starting to show
Yeah.
in his confidence on
Yeah.
the field as
Yeah.
well, which is a bit of a concern for them. But the likes of Puran, the likes of Markram, the likes of David Miller, they've all come good, and they have a really good bowling attack as well. So that's what worked. But this is the business end. This is where we have seen teams that win 8 on a row and then like go on a
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
slump in May and then not qualify for playoffs. At this point, it's a very clumsy, very tightly packed
Yeah.
top half of the table. But the next week could probably where everything breaks even.
I began by asking you about Delhi and Punjab and there's a reason behind it, right? It's two teams who attacked the auctions in different ways. Delhi retained Aksar, retained Kuldeep, retained Tristan, retained Jake. I think spent about more than 50 crore in retaining all of these guys. And then at the other end of the spectrum, you had Punjab who retained two uncapped, two uncapped Indian batters. Both of them went to the auction, did what was wanted at the auction, and both are blossoming.
Yeah, I think Punjab. Usually Punjab does a clean slate, but I think this time the difference is the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Uh, Ricky Ponting,
Role clarity,
yeah,
what Shreyas and Ponting have brought to the franchise.
there is a very clear style in
Yeah.
which Ricky Ponting operates in terms of the players he picks, in terms of the support staff he has. But also the moment you saw that Shreyas Iyer is going to Punjab, how the team is going to shape up. They had a really really good auction, and the lot of individual players have come up. Priyan Charya has been sensational. Shreyas himself against pace has been spectacular this season. Clearly, he has worked against pace. They have a really good bowling attack as well. So it's one of those things where this is probably the first time we are seeing since 2014 where collectively everything
Yeah,
is going
yeah.
well for Punjab. But again,
And this is when Maxwell and Stoinis have basically
they've
not
like
performed at all.
shuffled around
Yeah.
here and there, and but again, like they are on 11 points from 9 games. They still have 5 games to go, but you never know what happens in May to teams, and this is where they would want to kick on, get those crucial points against Chennai, especially because after Chennai they face Lucknow, they face
Yeah.
Mumbai, they face another team from the top of the table. So one loss here and there could really shift the momentum and
Yeah.
change the table.
Moving on from Punjab, another team that's probably the form team of the IPL right now is Bombay. I mean, you cannot ignore them, right? You can love them or hate them, but you just cannot ignore them. At the beginning of the season, they were fighting with Chennai for last place. Suddenly, something happened, and now they won like what 5 on the spin.
Yeah, I think there was a match against Chennai in Mumbai. Uh, they had a lot of issues, but then slowly Surya Kumar Yadav
Yeah.
started scoring runs. But the moment you see Rohit Sharma, who's not scored, he had a really good year last year.
I
But
think the last time Rohit managed back-to-back 50s was, I think, before the pandemic, before people knew even what COVID was. And
yeah, probably. I think he had a couple of them last year, but I'm not really sure. Even otherwise, this year he had been looking really bad in the first half. And the moment he clicked, the moment the entry points of the rest of the lineup, get sorted out itself, they need Rohit to battle 7 or 8 overs so that the rest of the lineup takes care of
I
itself.
think if probably you need an opening partnership to get you to 75 for 2 after 7 overs, you couldn't ask for a better partnership than Rohit and Rickleton. That is
Yes.
exactly what they do.
Yeah, and then the rest of the lineup is like solid in terms of Tilak Verma and then the Surya Kumar Yadav who was scoring runs. The kind of shots he played the
Yeah.
last few days ago was ridiculous against Lucknow. And they've got Bumrah back who's
Yeah.
taking wickets. They've got Brent Ball. They've got Deepak Chahar. So they always had a great team. It's about form and fitness.
Yeah.
And when they get going, there's very little any team could do to stop them. And as things stands, they clearly seem to be the team to beat, and probably the team that could knock out teams of the top four and secure a place there.
From Bombay, we'll now spend some time on Gujarat Titans. As a template, they are probably the closest in terms of aping what Chennai did for a long time. It's that they don't go gung ho in the power play. Their top 2 or top 3 have 3 anchors. Their middle order is slightly undercooked, although this year Sherifin has covered for all of those weaknesses. It's meant that Tewatia, Swaroop have just come in with 10 to 15 balls to spare and hit a couple of sixes. Then they have like a great bowling attack, irrespective of what Royals did to them last night. Interesting team, really. I mean, you look at Gujarat and you think, and then but then to be honest, they've done wow.
Yeah, I think that's also because their opening pair, they're young, Sai Sudarshan as well as Gill, but they are also players who are not, the traditional T20
Yeah.
openers. But it's very very clear how much they have upskilled themselves in the last 3 years. You saw Sai Sudarshan taking on Patiran in the 2023 final. Uh, that year he probably had a strike rate of 130. He had to be retired out in one of the games. Uh, the last year it was like 140.
Yeah.
Now he's hitting close to 155. Gill has a strike rate of 155, 160, and he's probably the best middle overs batter at this point in the season. Rarely plays a dot ball. Very good at running between the wickets, and continues to strike at 160 without taking any risks. And the best thing that's happened to them is probably Josh Butler coming into form. He's always been another middle overs exploit, and they've used him really well.
Yeah.
The fact that these two bat out the power play in the first 10 overs makes his entry point easier. And the moment he found form, they have clicked extremely well. But I think they are great.
The one flaw that I see in their batting lineup is in above par pitches. Like
Yeah,
yesterday, they
yeah.
do tend to leave out 15 to 20 runs. Till yesterday, it did not matter because Siraj and Rashid and Prasid, who's been really good, all these bowlers just come and choke opposition out. I mean, Sai Kishore, who's
Yeah.
probably been the spinner of the tournament for me.
And then he didn't bowl a single
Yeah.
over the other night just because they were two left-handers. So, and they also didn't have Gill on the field, who was the captain as well. Uh, but yes, I think they have a very 2010s CSK kind of a template, and how much of it will work when push comes to shove in the playoffs, closer to the playoffs, when teams try and build pressure. That's when we'll have to wait and see whether the very underutilized middle order comes to the party, because they'll need Tewatia, they'll need Shah Rukh Khan, they'll need Washington to do more than what they have so far, because they didn't have to, but when the moment comes, they will have to.
We'll wrap up this show by talking about one of those teams who have put pressure on multiple teams, especially away from home. RCB, what's happened to them? I mean, it's been a breath of fresh air.
I think we've seen a lot of memes and a lot of content regarding the holy trinity of the IPL. Punjab Kings, RCB, and DC, the three teams who have not
Who have
won
given fans a lot of content.
Yes, of course, but they have been really, really good. I mean, RCB, they probably cracked the code in the auction. I, from whatever little we have seen, whatever little they have shown us in terms of their auction preparation, a big kudos should go to Dinesh
Dinesh Karthik.
Karthik, who's been exceptional in terms of his auction planning, in terms of the inputs that's come from him, whether it's Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Josh Hazelwood, Jitesh Sharma, and Phil
Phil
Salt at
Salt.
the top. Everything.
They've that particle. I mean, who would think that he would become a spin bashing power play operator or even middle overs operator who would take on all bowling? I mean, what the top order has done is that it has allowed Kohli to play the way that he thinks he plays best.
Yeah, and it also works out in the way that when there is a 160 chase, there is no one better than Kohli.
Yeah.
In this format, as we saw, and perhaps the biggest two positives is Krunal Pandya and Tim David.
Yeah.
Krunal Pandya has always been a great utility
For me,
player.
at least, I think Krunal is the best Pandya in this year's tournament.
This yes, probably, and I think he's a great utility player. This is what he did for Mumbai Indians way back when 2017, 2018, 2019, and this season he's embraced.
I'm loving the way that he comes in and fires bouncers. I mean,
Yeah, I think he also someone who likes the attention. He likes the fandom that comes with the franchise. The three big Mumbai, Chennai, and RCB.
Yeah.
He was with Lucknow, but it's never comes to what RCB fandom is. And the moment you deliver for them, they're gonna put you up and celebrate you like. And same goes for someone like Jitesh Sharma. He's been with Punjab, but what you experience as an RCB player is something that RCB or CSK or even Mumbai, it's something that's very, very different, and they've all embraced it. They've all lived up to it. But Phil Salt, again, he's been up and down, but he's given the starts, and then there is of course Bethel. There's a lot of players who you can see DK's hand. There's a lot of players who has come in, who's felt like they can belong, and Jitesh Sharma's reviews has been spectacular. The captaincy has been really good in terms of why once the season started going, Patidar has held himself really well as captain. A lot, I think they have been the most consistent team this season, but we'll have to wait and see. Last year they did an unbelievable run of winning 6 on the trot. They need another probably couple of.
If they win the next 6, they're winning the IPL, I think.
That's exactly it. And but this I don't, if they are going to win this, it's probably should be this year. The last time they had such a season was probably in 2016. They're on a roll.
Season.
Yeah, they're on a roll, and this time they're not dependent on Kohli. Kohli is just an anchor, and everybody else is doing what they have to do. And Josh Hazelwood, the X factor for them. So if they miss out from here on, then I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Interesting. On that note, that's all for another edition of Force and Sixes. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Bye bye.